what happened in the last 6 weeks is essentially a bear market that has swept through sentiment and positioning, right? Because if you look at hedge fund positioning, it's gone almost neutral, and a huge correction in momentum. So I think it's very possible that March, April, May could actually be like one of these huge rally months where we're rallying 10, 15%.
Tom Lee, lead analyst for Fundstrat, saying that the stock market over the next 90 days is going to go on a 10 to 15% tear. That's absolutely massive for the stock market over 90 days. But understand this. If that happens, if Tom Lee is correct, what you're going to see over in the crypto markets during that time from where we stand today, it's going to change your life forever. It's going to be so massive, it's not even funny. Now, does Tom know what he's talking about? Well, you got to admit, over the last couple of years, there haven't been many that have been more accurate. 2 years ago, he called pretty much exactly where the S&P 500 would end. Last year, he was off a little bit, but I mean, we're talking about a little bit. He was darn close. And so can he repeat that success again? I don't know. It gets tough to duplicate that year in and year out. Almost no one does. But we don't need him to be correct for the entirety of the year here. We just need the next 90 days. That's it. It doesn't take much in crypto. And if we're launching from these prices, where we would be at the end of this 90-day period, if what transpires, what Tom Lee is saying, man, it's going to be epic. We're going to cruise right through the gates of Valhalla, Bentley time, popping bottles, all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be crazy. And then you tack on top of it things that could transpire during this time for XRP that would just be like boosters on our rockets here, send us even higher. Things like that court case with the SEC finally, that appeal being dropped, settled once and for all. Absolutely bullish. You know, XRP ETFs getting across the finish line, you name it, it could happen. We got a lot going on here, and we just need a little bit of runway. We don't need much. And for every kind of scary thing out there, we have a counterbalance, you know, epically bullish thing going on within cryptocurrencies. Now, the Ethereum camp, they're getting stranger and stranger with their fund. We see Laura Shen, this Ethereum shell. She says, you know, Ripple pitched Solana as part of the National Reserve in order to make the inclusion of XRP in the reserve seem more legitimate. What does that mean? That Ripple sat back and said, you know what? It shouldn't just be us within altcoins. We should have other major altcoins. Like, why would that be bad? That's sensible. That's exactly what we should be doing here, you know, having Solana and Cardano, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, you know, all together. That makes a lot of sense. That would be a great reserve, and you could weight most of it towards Bitcoin. That's fine, but, you know, I'm not really sure what this industry is fighting about. We're going to go over an article here shortly that kind of goes over this, but in some ways we are our own worst enemy. Here we see Tom Lee here saying, we've seen a lot of downside hedging this week. Odds of a 10 best day coming are very high over the next 90 days. And what he says is typically most of your gains in the stock market, they don't happen pro rata throughout the year. There's usually 10 days. There's 10 massive days where you make all of your money, and he thinks that's coming up here pretty soon. And again, if that happens in the stock market, what's going to happen in the crypto market is going to be downright biblical. Only one way to find out, huh? We'll see it play out here. This is an article from Politico that I summarized here. And we see crypto's biggest threat is itself here. Washington, they're turning crypto friendly. Lawsuits are going away. Industry is being backed by lawmakers. We're gaining influence, yet we just can't stop the infighting. Like, if you're a fan of Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, your attitude should be like, hey, you know, support this industry. Throw whatever you want in the reserve because the best will win ultimately. Like, it doesn't matter. We have all these strange little internal wars. Personally, myself, I'm not a huge Solana fan, but, you know, am I mad that they throw it in there? No, it's a top coin right now. Go ahead. You should. It's a big, you know, smart contract blockchain. A lot of people behind it. Great. Throw it in there. Ultimately, if it fails, who cares? Like, this is how we kind of get to that end result. We got to try different things. And you think that this industry would just get behind this and say, yay, you know, finally we're getting some support, but we can't help it. We got to just fight each other for some stupid reason. And again, you can imagine how maddening this is. If you're trying to work with the crypto industry and you announce something like this that includes a lot of people, and even the people that were included that made that final cut, they're fighting amongst each other. It's got to be just, you know, give you a migraine. It really is really irritating. We had this weird thing where someone's going after David Schwartz and Ripple saying, hey, you just think about yourself when you're selling XRP. And David says the following: Ripple should act in its own interest. And while we are kind of aligned in a lot of ways, like we want XRP to go up a lot, Ripple wants XRP to go up a lot, we shouldn't expect them to hold back on selling when it's advantageous for their interests, just so we can make money, or vice versa. When XRP hits $6 this run, I'm not going to call up Brad and say, hey, you want me to hold off on selling some XRP here, Brad, so you can get some stuff done? Like, no, I'm going to unload on the market. Like, I don't care, and they shouldn't care about me either. Again, I think in general, they are, honest market participants. They want long-term growth and stability for XRP, but it doesn't mean they're not going to act in their own self-interest. And everyone within blockchain does this. Miners do the same thing within the Bitcoin ecosystem. People that are developing on Ethereum, they're looking out for their own best interests. But, in some degree, all of us align. It's really a strange argument when it comes to Ripple. We see Ripple backs this new nonprofit with a $50 million grant. Ripple is launching the National Cryptocurrency Association, $50 million to push crypto education and adoption in the United States. A big part of this, of course, is also political funding as well. And they don't have to disclose, I guess, who is donating the money. So this could be a powerful tool as well to go along with what they are also already contributing to Fair Shake. And this is why you see, continuous focus from this administration on the crypto industry, because there's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of power, and that money is going to be very useful in the midterms here. Bitwise files for spot Aptos ETF. We see a new contender here. Aptos is a really interesting blockchain. It's very similar to Sui, built on the same programming language, and it's the 36th cryptocurrency ranked in market cap in the world. And so it has quite a bit of upwards mobility here. I bought a little bit more today based on this. I don't like it as much as Sui, but again, it's got a lot lower value. For a long time, Aptos was actually ranked ahead of Sui here. And it's good to see they're setting the stage here for a lot of cryptos to get across the finish line, because that's also going to allow us to have really interesting bundled products and ETFs where you can have a lot of staking cryptos and smart contract cryptos and payment cryptos, all sorts of interesting products that I think investors are going to like a lot. And so, again, I don't like this one as much as Sui, but I like its value. It's the number 36 crypto in the world. I bought a little bit more today. Not my favorite, but one that may make me some money before it's all said and done. Good Morning Crypto saying the following: first ever White House Crypto Summit is this Friday. Here's who's rumored to be attending. And again, I haven't been able to get anything confirmed, but we see Michael Saylor, he's going to be there. CEO of Bitcoin Magazine as well. CEO of Exodus. What are they? Exodus wallet. Why would they be there? One of the worst wallets there is. CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong. CEO of Robinhood. I'm sure he'll be there. Kraken, of course. Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple. CEO of Crypto.com. So we have a pretty wide range of people. Also unconfirmed, but likely to be there, Kathy Wood, Vitalik Buterin, Charles Hoskinson. I heard him give a talk today saying he hasn't been invited yet, but maybe he will. He should be there. He's doing some great work. But even if he's not at this crypto summit, he's working with lawmakers, and I think it's going to pay big dividends for this space in general. It'd be interesting to see what they have in store here. This is just the first of many. And as Charles said in that discussion he had today, what's really important is working with those lawmakers, because that's what we need. The executive branch, they're busy, man. They got a lot going on. Tariffs, war in Ukraine, you name it. They're working on a lot of stuff at once, where Congress probably could pay a little more attention to you for the important stuff. But it's great. They're still supporting cryptocurrencies. It's not just about get the votes and then move on to something else. They're dedicated here, and I think they have to be, because, again, midterms are going to be huge, and there's a lot of money on the line. Lastly, we have this stat here. Sui does more DEX volume than Polygon, Tron, Aptos, Near, and Cardano combined in 2025. I know it's been a little rough there for the Sui token. Still up quite a bit from when we first bought it. But, this is going to get its footing here. I think it's going to take off in a big way. Let me know what you think, though, down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.